Welcome back to Broken Sword, The Shadows of the Templar, Director's Cut. And I'm still mispronouncing the entire title of the game. Yay me! We are stuck here in the corridor with a really odd fella who speaks with a weird British accent in a French hospital who calls his own polishing machine Mr. Shiny. And I think I'm going to sabotage Mr. Shiny. Just because I can. Because I'm an asshole.
As I tugged the plug out of the socket, the polishing machine coughed, spluttered, and died.
There we go. Mr. Shiny's dead.
Mr. Shiny, what's wrong, pal?
Now, let's see if we can sneak into the cupboard. Or maybe I need to do something more devilish than just pulling out the plug. Yep. Hurry up, George. Hurry up. Ah! A doctor's coat. Perfect. Didn't even know I needed one, but... Oops, sorry about that. Nice! Now we're suddenly disguised as a doctor. Let's talk with the fellow, see if he recognizes us again or what happens.
Hello.
Oh, hi! No whistling, right?
Right.
Are you having trouble with Mr. Shiny?
Yes, I am. I don't know what's got into him today. He keeps pulling his plug.
Yeah, I wonder why. Really wonder why.
See you later.
Yeah, take care now.
I think the reason is that we need to have this is that we need to get past Nurse Grendel, probably. Oh, here's the ward. Wow.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Oh, hi. Is this Ward J2?
Yes, sir. The patients are ready for your inspection, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse.
You'll need this, Doctor.
Wow. Okay, that went much smoother than I had expected.
She gave me a long, narrow metal box and a stunning smile. Thanks.
Could you take a look at the client in bed number 3 now? His name is Eric Sopmarsh.
Sopmarsh, okay. Let's just ask a few questions before we continue.
Do you have any clowns on the ward?
Why, yes, we do. A professional clown.
I'll bet he lightens the place up.
Hardly. Monsieur Boissy has been in a coma for the last 3 months.
Ah, damn straight. Those clowns, can't trust them. What the hell is that?
What is this device?
It's for taking the patient's blood pressure,
Ah. Doctor. Yeah, I look like an idiot now. Yeah, I can see it on her frown too.
What's wrong with Boissy?
He was involved in a very nasty accident. A silly stunt involving a unicycle. His current condition is due to post-traumatic shock. It's unlikely he'll ever perform as a clown again.
It's an
Thank
ill
God.
wind that blows nobody any good. Do you have a patient named Marquet on this ward?
Oui, monsieur. He is in the private room at the end of the ward. He has been placed in strict isolation.
Why?
Why is Marquet in quarantine?
If you wish to know more, you'll have to speak to Herr Hagenmeier. All I know is that Marquet's room is strictly out of bounds.
Okay. Well, I'll have to get to that Herr Hagenmeier later on, I guess.
Do you know who paid for Marquet's room?
No, of course I don't.
Preferential treatment like that must cost an arm and a leg.
That's not my concern, monsieur.
Well, she seemed happy in the beginning, and now she looks less happy than anything. And that was a blood pressure thingamajigger, and I actually do know how they work, and I really don't like that. Squeezing around the arm and everything.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
So I'm guessing I need to inspect the patients.
This guy didn't look sick to me. He didn't have spots or stitches, and he certainly didn't have a fever.
Well, I probably have to inspect them before I'm allowed to do anything else, so let's have a look at them.
Hello? Anybody home?
Who are you?
My name is Dr. Stobart, and I'm here to steer you down the rocky road to recovery.
Dr. Monroe said there was no cure for what I've got.
Your problem is you stayed in bed too long.
Are you sure you're a qualified doctor?
Of course.
You better believe it.
I have a white coat, don't I?
What can you tell me about Marquet?
He's the man in the private room, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
That room was mine before I was tossed out like a common squatter.
Well, he seems pissed off.
Do you know what's wrong with Marquet?
They won't even say what's wrong with me. Tell me, Doctor, what's your opinion?
It's too early to say.
But I've been here for 3 months.
You poor bastard.
What's your impression of Nurse Grendel?
She's a very efficient young woman.
Efficient? You make her sound like a vacuum cleaner.
I've no complaints.
Well, very kind of you.
The woman in reception described Nurse Grendel as a monster.
Well, that's simply not true. She's quite strict, but that's her job, isn't it? You've got to have discipline in a place like this.
Well, I guess this thing then.
I'm going to take your blood pressure.
Why?
I'm a doctor. It's my job.
Can we do it around his neck instead? Well,
Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it right.
I'm not. Honestly, I guess George doesn't have an idea of how to do
I'll
this.
come back later.
Let's talk to the nurse. I probably should ask some more
Pardon
questions.
me, nurse.
Oui, monsieur?
Do you want this,
Device for measuring blood pressure?
yeah, do you want it back?
No, thank you.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess that's it then.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Ah, there's the smile. That's what I wanted to see. She looks really skeptical here, but then she gives that really nice smile and everything. But yeah, well,
Doctor,
What is it?
you haven't taken my blood pressure.
damn. I'm guessing that George actually has to learn how to do this.
Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it right.
Of course I am.
No, you're not. Dr. Monroe never did it like that.
I can't take a satisfactory reading while you're excited like this. I'll come back later.
Well, I guess I need to find someone to teach me how to do this, so it's always like this in these kind of games. I better go and find someone to help me. I think I know where. We had a snooty doctor. Ooh, what's this? I'm guessing this is Mr. Hagenmeyer. Let's have a word with him.
Excuse me, sir.
Aha! Just the man.
Oh no.
You must be the new boy.
Yeah, I must be.
Well, stop wandering about and make yourself useful. Bunny, come here, boy. This is
Bunny?
Benoit, my nephew. Can I trust you to look after him?
Sure.
He is fresh out of medical school. It will open his eyes to see a real doctor on the job.
I'll bet.
Show him around. Let him see some real suffering.
I think we found our victim. Let's talk to Bunny.
The young man's face was full of eagerness and enthusiasm. I figured he was fresh from college.
Most likely.
Hi, my name's George Stobart.
Look at that.
So what's your name, kid?
Benoit, they call me Bunny.
Bunny? Jeez, and you don't mind?
Oh, I've gotten used to it.
Okay, Benoit, you're gonna help me.
Anything you say, sir.
Well, that's great.
Here, take this pressure gauge.
Thank you, sir. What do you want me to do with it?
Well, keep it safe until I think of something.
Oh, I know exactly how to use that. Let's ask him some questions first.
Do you know the nurse on Ward J2?
No, monsieur. This is my first day here. I can't wait to get my hands dirty. I was talking about treating my first patient, of course. I didn't mean I'd get my hands dirty with a nurse.
Shut up, Benoit.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, shut up, Bunny.
Do you know anything about a patient named Marquet?
No, sir, I don't know much about any of the patients.
I've never met a doctor who admits that he's only human.
I'm only a trainee, sir. I'm sure I'll get the hang of things.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! You're a trainee? I don't know what kind of schools they have in France, but that's not cool. Seriously, no. You don't start as a
Follow me,
trainee
Benoit.
doctor,
I'm right behind you, sir.
as far as I know. Hey, Mr. Shiny. Aha. Now, Bunny, let's do this properly.
Hey, Benoit!
Yes, sir?
There
Do
we
you
go.
still have that gauge I gave you?
Oh, yes. What do you want me to do with it?
Give it to him.
Use it on Eric Sopmarsh.
Okay.
Good. And I'll get the hell out of here while you do that. Yeah, you take care of the annoying patient, and I'll go doing stuff that Mr. Stobart should be doing. There's a gendarme
He
sitting
sat
outside?
like a statue of a sack of potatoes, but the cop's eyes were as watchful as a hawk's.
Okay, I have a hard time imagining that, but
I'm
still.
Dr. Stobart.
Bonjour, doctor.
Look at the eyes!
Have you seen any suspicious characters on the ward?
Yeah, I have.
A gorilla and a weasel?
No, this was a tatty old bear.
How is the bear acting suspiciously?
Well, he was wearing a homburg.
Is that against the law?
No, but it's pretty weird for a bear.
What the hell is that? I don't even know what that is.
Have you heard of a guy called Marquet?
He's in quarantine, Doc, right behind this here door.
Marquet is just the man I wanted to see.
I wouldn't go in there if I was you. He has anthrax.
What? I don't really believe
I
that.
have to visit my patient.
What for?
Routine. I have to check he's still breathing.
What if he's not?
I'll sign the certificate and register his bed as vacant.
That's a cold and distant attitude to death.
Well, I've been institutionalized to the point of godlike aloofness.
The white coat suits you.
Thanks.
Very kind of you, sir.
Catch you later, officer.
Au revoir, Doc.
Oh my, he doesn't look well at all.
Marquet?
He looks like hell.
Yes, I am Marquet. I've been expecting you.
You have?
Well, what are you waiting for? Get it over with.
I just want to know what I should do with the gem.
The Lahmar gem.
Yeah, right here in my pocket.
I thought you were one of the assassin.
No, I don't smoke, but thanks for
Not
asking.
me. I never inhaled.
So,
Precisely.
you were sent in my place.
Yeah. You could hardly make the trip to Ireland in your condition. What should I do with the gem?
Deliver it to the Grand Master. Quickly tell him that I have found the tripod right here in Paris.
What, you have it?
Not yet, but it's being taken care of. I hired a couple of stooges with a flair for petty crime.
Oh no.
Would that be Flap and Guido by any chance?
You know them as for Klausner. He has gone off to Syria on a wild goose chase.
They have geese in Syria?
He has a theory about the location of the...
That's enough excitement for one day, Monsieur Marquet. What are you doing here?
Talking to this patient, of course.
Monsieur Marquet is my patient.
Whoops.
Hagenmeyer was to hear that.
Okay, I'm going. I'd learned all I could from Marquet anyhow.
Perfect.
Ah, there you are, sir. I was just coming to look for you. I finished with your pressure gauge.
Thanks, Bunny.
What's that noise? It sounds as if someone's having a cardiac arrest.
It's all right. The doctor's in there with him.
Are you sure he was a doctor?
Oui, monsieur. He showed me his ID. It was Dr. Braille.
There's no Dr. Braille working here.
He's an imposter.
Oh, no. Yep, that's the end of Marquet.
The door's locked. Help me, officer.
Oh my.
Stand back, monsieur.
Oy, oy, oy. Oh, you shot the door? Why? Yeah, well, we learned everything we could.
Hello, Georges.
Well, we got the information we needed.
I found Jacques Marquet.
Did he talk?
Yeah, he talked. For the very last time.
He's dead.
Yeah, killed in cold blood by a bogus doctor.
That's despicable. What kind of guy would pass himself off as a doctor and take advantage of a dying man?
I don't know.
Was it Khan?
No, I don't know who he was, but it certainly wasn't Khan. He got away, out the window.
What the hell?
Have you ever heard of the Hashi-Ashin?
No.
Marquet said that they were his biggest enemy.
His biggest enemy was the bogus doctor.
Don't remind me. That guy was evil. He had wild, staring eyes like a dead fish.
You mean like
I'll
the
never
cop?
trust a doctor again.
Well, if it's the Hashashin, then it's a completely different thing, and everybody who has ever played Assassin's Creed knows exactly what I'm talking about. Assassins and Templars.
Do you think the assassin was responsible for killing Marquet?
I don't think so. He could have finished him off the first time. Besides, Marquet would have recognized him.
He was pumped to the gills with sedatives. He wouldn't have recognized the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse unless they'd introduced themselves.
Let's see now, it's war, famine, pestilence, death, and Ronnie. Yeah. Actually, there's 5 horsemen of the apocalypse. They always forget Ronnie for some reason. Things that happen. Never forget him. Never will.
That is not a good idea.
Why not? She might need to have her blood pressure taken. But we know now that Guido and Flap, most likely, will try and steal the tripod, so I guess we should go there first.
I guess I'd better go back and talk to that weirdo.
Which one, Rosso or Sergeant Mou? Oh, but you're referring to Andre.
I'll let you work it out.
Well, that was a little bit early because we haven't met Andre yet. But I guess we are going to do that now. Let's see now. I guess that's him. Monsieur
He was a thin-faced,
Lobino.
pallid guy with a questionable taste in outlandish clothes. My mother used to dress like that.
What, like a smelly hippie?
I beg your pardon. Are you
Yep.
Andre Lobino?
That's me. You want my autograph?
No.
Oh, hell no.
I was told you may be able to help me. Help? My name is George Stobart. I'd like your professional opinion.
Well, okay. Shoot.
Oh boy, now we have a lot of questions for you, Lobino.
Does the name Montfaucon mean anything to you?
Sure. It was the most grisly spectacle in Paris
Oh, she was in
until the
Paris.
Revolution.
A public toilet?
Montfaucon was the place of execution for many thousands. A dark temple of death, with row upon row of arches, each one framing
yeah.
a grim exhibit. Scores of rotting corpses swung on creaking rope, while the crows
So,
devoured
gibbets?
their flesh.
Gibbets?
That explains the image of the hanged man. I found a reference to Montfaucon in Ireland, in a village called Lochmarn.
Lochman! That's where Pegram was digging.
That's right. He'd left the excavation before I arrived.
Oi. Okay, this will take some time, so have patience because now there's a lot of talking and exposition, most likely. Oh boy.
Do you know Pegram well?
Not really. I met him at a conference. I would have liked to talk to him in depth, but I didn't have time.
When was this?
Oh, back in the summer, July, I think.
Okay, well,
I'd
let's
like
go
your
here.
opinion on a medieval manuscript.
Vraiment? Do you have it with you?
No, it's too fragile. And besides, there are certain people who'd stop at nothing to get their hands on it.
Intriguing. Do you have a copy of the text?
There isn't much, only a few Latin phrases. I was kind of hoping you'd help decipher the pictures.
Without seeing the manuscript, that's a tall order.
Just tell me one thing. What does the image of two men riding on the same horse
Templars.
suggest to you?
The Knights Templar. Does the Templar seal appear on this manuscript? I'd love to see that for myself.
Just get more and more information
The
here.
manuscript is being looked after by a friend.
In Paris?
Yeah, not far from here, in fact.
Well, just give me the address and I'll come round and take a look.
I'm not so sure about that. Maybe I should check with her first.
A female friend?
Yeah, she's a woman.
A female friend. Oh, the beautiful ladies.
This friend who has the manuscript,
Oui, the anonymous girlfriend.
she lives at 361 Rue Jarry.
Ah, I know it well. I'll drop by. Just as soon as I can.
Fix that ponytail up and put on the charm because you know her before since you guys used to date.
Can you tell me anything about the Knights Templar?
I sure can, Georgie. Soldiers,
Oh, shut up.
diplomats, mercenaries, monks,
Don't
bankers,
call me
you
Georgie.
name it, the Templars fit the bill. The greatest fighting
I'll
force
call you
in
Annie in
Christendom,
such case.
The militia of Christ.
Jeez. How did the Templars get their name?
From the building in which they set up their headquarters. The King of Jerusalem gave them part of a mosque on the Temple Mount. It was said to have been the site of the original Temple of Solomon. The order became known first as the Knights of the Temple, and later as the Knights Templar.
You're a mine of information, Andre.
Glad to be of help, Georgie.
Thank you, Annie.
How come the Templars became so wealthy?
There was a constant stream of new recruits to their ranks, many from noble families. They were required to swear a sacred oath of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So, their money, goods, and lands were donated to the order. The Templars soon held land in France, Scotland, England, Spain, most of Europe, in fact. The poor Knights of Christ became the wealthiest power in Christendom.
Is it true the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found?
Who knows? So little knowledge of what really happened remains. Or, if it does, the truth has never been made public.
What do you mean by that?
The Templars have attained mythological status, like the King Arthur of the Britons. There are people even now who say the Templars still exist.
Well, they do,
Do you
Annie.
think that's likely?
No, not for a minute.
Well, that's because you're an idiot.
I think you ought to know that the tripod is going to be stolen.
The Lochman tripod? No.
It's true. I can give you a description of the thieves.
Before the supposed event has taken place?
I heard them planning the raid.
They're wasting their time. The tripod is protected by a state-of-the-art alarm system.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you.
Well, sure.
Why don't you loan the tripod to me for safekeeping?
Because I'd never see it again.
But don't you trust me?
It's not a question of trust, George. That tripod is hundreds of years old and extremely fragile.
I get your point.
Yeah, and those two stooges will really take good care of it. I know that.
Have you ever heard of the Hashashin?
Why, yes, it was a radical Muslim sect whose name became synonymous with murder. It was formed in 11th century Persia, shortly before the Crusades.
At roughly the same time as the Templars.
Yes, they gave a new word to our language, Assassini, the assassins.
Yeah,
How did
fascinating.
the assassins get their name?
From the legends surrounding the secrets of their initiation rites. A
Let's
young
smoke some
man
tokes,
who sought to join the
have
sect
some fun,
was
kill
given
some
hashish
dudes,
until he
order
drifted
pizza.
into dreams. He awoke to find himself in a fabulous garden with everything he could wish for. The freshest water, the most delicious food, the choicest hash, and the most delectable women imaginable.
Cool. Do you have the address?
I haven't finished the story. There was a price to pay for this taste of paradise.
Wouldn't you just know it?
The young man would wake the next day to find himself back in the real world. He was told that he'd been given a glimpse of the heaven reserved for holy martyrs. A heaven he would enjoy for eternity if he was willing to join the Hashashin.
Well, that's a nice little hookup just to be able to get into heaven.
How did the assassins operate?
But that's a
Well,
common thing.
As I explained, the new recruits would be only too willing to die for the cause. They'd be instructed in the use of the dagger, poisons, and disguise. Then, the Grand Master of the sect would name an enemy of Allah.
And they'd stop at nothing to eliminate that enemy.
You got it. They were fearless and deadly.
Does the cult of the assassins still exist?
Take a look around at the world today. You tell me.
Well, they sure do. And the entire thing is not that uncommon. I mean, the lure of paradise in any kind of religion can make people, well, politically you can use it in any way possible. Just, it's a matter of charisma and fooling people, I guess.
Where was the site of Montfaucon?
To the northeast, near the Canal Saint-Martin, but there's nothing there now. The old gibbet was torn down during the Revolution.
Yeah, it was gibbet. Also, don't discuss religion. It's not a good thing to discuss. Everybody just gets pissed off and annoyed at each other.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
So now I'm going to stay in the in the museum and make sure that Flap and Guido don't steal the freaking thing. And by doing that, I need to have him try to close the window so I can hide inside the sarcophagus. Just having to wait a little bit for him. Yep, I think now is my cue. There we go. And I hide. Perfect. Let's just wait.
Closing time, Monsieur Lobineau.
That was quick.
Already, there just aren't enough hours in the day.
More than enough for me. I can't wait to get home and put my feet up.
Eh bien, see you tomorrow.
Good night, Monsieur.
Good night. He sounds really pissed off. There we go. And there are the two geniuses.
Quit fooling around, you moron! Get your ass over here and bring that flashlight.
Bring her the flashlight so we can do this burglary. They are good at stereotypes in this game. So that's Guido and I guess that's Flap, and we need to stop them, and I can see only one thing to interact with, so the totem pole. Huh?
What the... Who's there?
Let's get out of here!
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Ow! Oh, hell. What the heck? Was that Nico?
And when I woke up, I was at the police station. Luckily, I managed to persuade Rosso I was innocent.
Poor Georges.
What a
Oh
mess.
my!
I bungled the whole thing.
I don't think so. You made a pretty good job of distracting those two crooks.
Yeah, but the killer got away with the tripod.
No, he didn't. He's not the only one who can dress up in costume.
You mean it was you who stole
Wow.
the tripod? Oh, hell, Nico. I could have been shot.
Those
Well,
dogs
so
are
she
more
could
likely
she.
to shoot their own feet.
I just wish you'd told me your plans. We're supposed to be in this together. And how come you dressed up like a pantomime...
Don't sulk, Georgie, please.
Oh, rats. And don't call me Georgie.
Exactly, don't call us
I
Georgie.
really thought you'd be pleased. After all, we've got the tripod.
Damn. But the fucking things.
Oh, by the way, I had a visit from Andre Lobineau.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, from one
I
thing
hope
to
you didn't
another.
mind me giving him your address.
Not at all. It was lovely to see him again. He was
Yeah,
over
your
the
old
moon when
boyfriend.
I showed him
Nice.
the manuscript. It's not often he gets that excited. He made a sketch of
Well,
the
you should
knight's
know.
crest to take back to the museum. I believe he's identified the family who bear that crest.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, so do I. Well, let's just finish this conversation.
I better get back to the quest.
Yeah. Oh, you just picked it up and put it in your pocket again? Oh my. In any case, thank you so much. So, let's do that again. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later on. See ya!